Welcome to the Spunky Spirit Podcast. I'm your host, psychic medium Carrie Muggs. This is where we learn all things spirit, everything from spiritual gifts, awakenings, ghosts, aliens, and starseeds. Nothing is untouchable, but always fun and spunky. I am honored to be on this spiritual journey with you, so make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Hello, and welcome to the Spunky Spirit Podcast. I'm Carrie Muggleston, Carrie Muggs, and today we're going to talk about spirit circles and how they helped connect. And as always, take what you need in each episode and what resonates with you and leave the rest, because we all are going to have different opinions. So, spirit circles are kind of my favorite a little bit. It's so funny because I never really actually participated in very many of them, and when I did, I was scared of them. There was a lot of fear behind them, but I'm going to kind of teach you a little bit of where they come from. Now, spirit circles are when people get together. I'm just going to give you the definition of a spirit circle. The best way to describe a spirit circle is a group sitting of those people wishing to go above and beyond their own limitations of physical or the physical world in order to connect to a higher knowledge. Spiritual wisdom, spirit entities in spirit, such as loved ones, angels, or masters. Any kind of connection to spirit. Now, the reason why spirit circles kind of got a bad name is because in the beginning, when mediums would use them, they were considered seances, and they were used to summon spirits. Because back in the old days, when the Fox sisters first came out, it started happening in Europe. That's how a lot of spiritual mediums got their gift or entertained people, or there was lots of different seances or spirit circles that they would have. Even government officials, even President Lincoln has been known to be in some spirit circles. So spirit circles are, and back in the day too, it used to be that when there was a spirit circle or a seance, that there would be rapping. That's how spirits would talk, is knocking or movement of tables or movement of pianos. Each medium had a different way. And so it's really fascinating to me. And it's still today, mediums will hold spirit circles. I'm actually going to start holding them too. And they're just a way to, honestly, the main theme of a spirit circle, or the primary purpose of a spirit circle, is to develop the psychic senses and to sit in the power. So sitting in the power is, I'll kind of explain that later. Sitting in the power. It's something that mediums do, something that they practice a lot. It's a meditation kind of thing. And so they do have spirit circles to help with that, to help you sit in the power or to communicate and sit in your own power. Now, circles have a super strong symbolic meaning. 000 is the circle of the universe or the source or God, and wreaths are like a never-ending circle showing of love. And then we have crop circles, we have fairy circles, and even witches will hold witches circles or spell circles or things like that. And so it's very common for mediums or people who are trying to tap in to have a spirit circle. Now, when mediumship started to come to fruition, and mediumship's been around for a really long time. Even back in the Roman times, they had oracles that certain individuals would be set aside to be an oracle, and people or higher government officials would go to the oracle and seek the advice of the oracle. But then they started to have these circles, these seances. And back then it was kind of used to summon spirits. And it got kind of to the point where they would also start to use Ouija boards or spiritual boards to help communicate, because some of them didn't practice sitting in the power, or they did, or they just wanted an easier way to communicate, so they did that a spirit board as a modality. So these spirit circles are supposed to have had a lot of kind of bad raps. They've kind of had a bad rap or belief system, and when mediums and seances were going on back in the day. This was a religious conflict. This was Christ-like people, fighting against this, thinking that it was Satanistic. This was people's beliefs of this system. And so there were spiritualists who believed in these spiritual circles or in these seances, and then there were the ones who were pretty religious or pretty Christian or in that sense that said that they were evil and that they were only bringing evil. And when we go through something we don't know or we don't understand, we do fear it. And so it's harder to, it kind of kept that belief system. It kind of kept that. And even I had a bad experience with a spirit board and a circle. So I was in college and I went to a fraternity, and I was, fraternities have queens or, these competitions kind of like prom queens and things like that. And so I was the queen of the fraternity, and I went to go, it sounds so weird. And I went to go visit them, and they were in the basement, and I walked down and they were playing with a spirit board. And as soon as I walked down in the basement, the spirit board spelled out, "Tell her to leave." Except for it didn't say her, it said a worse word that started with a B. And it said, "Tell the bitch to leave." And I, to this day, and then the blinds started kind of rattling a little bit. And I don't know if they were doing that as a joke for me or if it was legit. But I have, since that day, been a little leery of spirit circles or anything to do with the spirit board. And so this is where we come into conflict. There was probably a lower frequency or a spirit that was just trying to have, trying to scare me or who knows. But this is what happens is you have a bad experience or there's a belief system of some sort, and it keeps going and it follows you throughout your whole life. And spirit circles are actually a really good thing if you use them correctly and with the right intent. Everything's about intention, right? So if those guys that were in that fraternity were drinking and there was lots of, they wanted to scare people and that was their intention, then that's what happened. So I've also been reading lots of mediumship books on how I love to read. And so I read about every medium I can find, and I read about how they step into their gifts, how they step, their own, because every medium has their own journey. It's never set in stone how each medium progresses and it's so interesting because some fall off their natural gifts or follow their natural gifts, some go to training, some do, and it's so interesting to me to see how different mediums step into their own power or step into their gifts. So when I read about different mediums, most of all their trainings have to do with spirit circles. And Tony Stockwell is one of my favorite mediums that I follow, and he talks about in his book constantly attending spirit circles. And so as much as I tried to put them off, or as much as they scared me at one time, I have come to believe that they're a good thing. And people need them to progress, and people need them to connect, or people need them to develop their spiritual gifts and learn how to sit in the power. Now, sitting in the power, this is what mediums do when they meditate. So there's a meditation, and I'm creating a meditation workbook that will be available soon. And there's a difference between just meditating and sitting in the power. So meditation is good, and meditation helps you kind of realize, being in the moment, being in the now, putting things behind you. But sitting in the power is kind of a different thing. And a lot of people start to sit in the power, or they feel tingly, or they feel different, and so they start to get nervous and they don't go any farther, or they stop. And sitting in the power is when you really, really connect. You feel a difference. You feel you're at a higher frequency. You feel a connection, and this is where you mostly learn what's yours and what's not. Like what's your own thoughts and what's actually spirit communicating with you. And so it took lots of. Now, when I tell people that the thing that got me the strongest is meditation, It's because I didn't realize at the time that I was practicing sitting in the power. I was meditating daily. I was meditating for anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, and I loved it. Like I couldn't even, it was almost like I was addicted to it. And I didn't really understand that at the time. I was learning to sit in the power, and that's what was, and it's kind of hard to explain sitting in the power. It's when you feel the oneness with everything. And a lot of people feel it out in nature. I have a friend who was fishing, and he said he looked in the mountains and he realized everything was one, because fishing is a form of meditation. Lots of people like to go hunting, or they like to go fishing, or they like to run. They like to do things that put them in a meditative state. And when they feel this oneness, and this is when I started to feel a lot of this oneness, is when I was running, because it would put me in a meditative state. And this is when it started to kind of unfold for me. So all of my gifts, because I had tried to stop them from coming, during my divorce, and they just kind of all flooded because I started running after my divorce. And this is when it all just started to play out, and I started to meditate all the time, even though I didn't really realize that's what was happening. So that's what sitting in the power is. And these spirit circles, or these circles, are a good way to help you sit in the power, or figure out how to sit in the power, or to expand on your gifts. And the mediator of the circle, who runs a circle, they can do certain things to help you communicate. They can run the meditation. They can you can do different exercises during sitting in the circle. And I have decided that it's, after reading all of these mediums and how and their journey and how they progressed, circle sitting was kind of a big deal and a part of their development. And I do know that there are other mediums out there that run spirit circles. They can run them online, they can run them in-house, or in private settings. So I have decided that I am going to start running spirit circles, developmental circles, to help people to kind of tap into their gift and not be afraid, and to understand part of the history of where the circles come from. There's so much power in circles, or communities, or gatherings of some sort. And even when you read the Bible, if it says somewhere, my mom always used to tell me when I was little, if you have more than 3 people praying or asking God for it, it'll happen. And I think I did find that scripture, and I'm probably going to butcher it, wherever it is. But if you have more than 3, and you confide in me, or you look for me, or something like that, or then the spirits listen. And I think that, and 3 is a really strong number for spirit. Spirit speaks in 3. So I thought that was kind of interesting too. So if you have these gatherings, and you want to, tap in, I will have some online available, and I will have some in private starting to be available. But if you want to try, the thing is you have to let go of the fear behind it. And that's why I kind of wanted to explain where the fear came from. And it came from clear back. Oh, I've also forgot to mention too that Stonehenge is in a circle, the circle of the, and also another form of shape that has a lot is pyramids. Pyramids have a lot of energy too. But when people gather, if you notice, it's mostly in circles or some sort of circle. There's some power in the circles. So now the reason why I wanted to talk about spirit circles and, that is because there's so much fear behind it. There's so much fear that was brought through history, through the seances, through all of the things that we kind of have labeled as bad. And they're not necessarily bad. It's just that that's what the belief was, or that's what everything has. Even Ouija boards are given a bad name, and there are lots of mediums who use them. It's your intention. It's always, always, always about your intention. If you sit in a room, in a circle, and have intentions to summon spirits, and you want to be scared, and you want it to be scary, if you have a bunch of teenagers, and you're all sitting in an empty house, and you're trying to be scared, of course that's what's going to be created. Those are the spirits that are going to come through. Those are the ones that are going to come through and scare you. But if you have intentions of good and you protect and you surround yourself with white light, then, and you just have the intention of trying to sit in the power or connect or find your own power, then that's what's going to happen. And so make sure when you find your circles or you create these circles that the intentions are always good. Even if you go into a house that maybe has a lower frequency attached to it and you're trying to communicate with that, if you go in with a good intention or the intention to create love, then even that can still be a little scary. And I suggest that if you're not trained to do that, that you don't. But there's always, everything is created by source, right? Everything. So even lower frequencies, even people who have lower frequencies, we're all created by source. We all have, even though some people's light is more dim than others, we all have this light. And so if your intention is good, most likely that's what you're going to receive. Now you have to be honest, when these shows about hauntings and stuff like that are made, their intentions are to create an audience, or their intention is to make it drama or to make it kind of scary. So you have to remember that. It's not always like that. Now I do believe, and I've said this time and time again, that there are such thing as lower frequencies, but it's all about your intention and your intentions and what you want to create. So if you go into a spirit circle and you have the intentions of deepening your connection and you have the intentions of developing your gift, then that's what you're going to create and that's what you're going to receive. If you have the intentions of going in there and being scared and wanting to summon spirits, then that's also what you're going to receive. You have so much power within yourself to create what you want. So that's what I just wanted to kind of tell you, that spirit circles are awesome and they can help you develop, and they can help you develop your skills, and they can help you sit in the power. But it's always about intention. Even when I do my readings, it's about intention. Anything that you create, it's about intention. So it's always about intention, which goes back to, the course of spells and witches, and it's always about intention. And even, fairy circles and crop circles, it's just what is intended. Now, crop circles is different. I will probably do an episode on crop circles when we start to go into the UFO and alien kind of things. That I'll research that and find out information about that. But I just wanted to eliminate the fear of spirit circles, otherwise known sometimes as seances, because it's all about, if you are going to get into a spirit circle and summon spirits, then it's probably going to be a seance. But if you get together with people with like-minded intentions and you want to develop your gift, then it's most likely going to be a spirit circle. So, and this isn't like, okay, I'm going to create spirit circles, so I want to tell you what they're about. I just want to tell you that spirit circles aren't, I also had bad beliefs about spirit circles, and I stayed away from anything that could I always have stayed away from anything that could remotely resemble evil, or play with that, because I have dealt with stuff like that, and it is scary, and I'm not instigating fear. I just want you to, I just wouldn't be fair to you, honestly, if I was like, oh, I don't believe in that. It's never happened, because it has happened to me. Now, where it came from exactly, I don't know. I mean, if it's something I created myself, I'm pretty sure I didn't. But there are people out there that say that. And so spirit circles, I have kind of stayed away from them, I will admit. But I've also been really, really researching, because I want to help people develop their gifts, and I want to help people develop their mediumship gifts, their psychic gifts, their intuitive gifts. And everywhere I've looked is always about developing spirit circles or spirit development circles. And so I'm here to tell you, I'm going to start creating them. I'm going to start having them. And I want you to eliminate your fear around them, because they are not fearful. If they're moderated by a fearful person, or somebody who, in the past, if I would have moderated one, and from my past experience, I would have been a little scared, I could have created that. But now that I know what their real intentions are and what they really are and different exercises to work through with them, then I totally know that they're good and they are very, very awesome to help you develop your own gifts and to step into your power. Because when I explain to people about stepping into their power, they don't get it. It's so hard to explain. You have to feel it. And so that's what I'm trying to help is this. So my mediumship courses will also start to have spirit circles in them. So I do have a mediumship course that I teach once a month. And the reason why I do it once a month is because I keep it lower. There are only 8 spots every month because I want to be able to work hands-on with people one-on-one. So, and then that also makes it smaller and intimate, a more intimate setting for spirit circles. So if I were you, and you were interested in spirit circles, I would look into them. But a lot of people also are afraid of spirit circles because you do share your experience during the spirit circle with other people, and people are afraid to share their experiences, or people are afraid that they're going to be wrong. Because when you step into the power or you do a meditative state in a spirit circle, it is not required, but it is looked upon to share your experience, or because how else are you going to develop your gift if you don't face the fear and put it out there? Because a lot of people are afraid of they're going to be wrong or what they thought was stupid, and that's not true either. So that's why I like the spirit circles to be a little bit smaller, because then you build a camaraderie or a friendship with the people where you're with, and you don't, if you are wrong, you don't feel judged. Or if it comes out completely ironic, if you feel like what came through for you is completely stupid, then you're surrounded by people who are non-judgmental and that love you. And so I just kind of wanted to explain that spirit circles are a good thing. And they've had bad raps in the past, but if you eliminate the fear and you eliminate getting rid of that, then joining a spirit circle might be something you might look forward to, or something that might help you develop your gift. And you can go to whatever pulls you. If you want to join a spirit circle, ask Spirit to guide you to one, or ask Spirit, to go where you feel like you would feel comfortable and secure and safe in sharing your abilities. And some mediums do have them online, and some mediums have them available wherever you're at. Back in the day, when Tony Stockwell was talking about some of the ones that he went to, they were all in the church. They were all there was a local church that had spirit circles. So you'll be able to find one. You can Google spirit circle near me, or I'm going to do a couple in private and do a couple this month and next March and April. And then I will start having them, I'm going to start trying to have them Zoom and see if that works too, and see the difference between there. So that might be an option for you. But definitely if you're trying to raise your gift or raise your frequency or develop your gift, spirit circles are a good way to do that. And I just wanted to put out there, I wanted to just get rid of the bad thoughts or the bad beliefs behind spirit circles, because there was, bad belief systems behind them in the past. And I had them myself. So if I've had them and I'm a psychic medium, I know that some of my clients have had them, and I know that there are people out there that have these bad beliefs about them. And I just want to tell you that they're not. Everything comes from intention. Everything comes from what you want to create and what your intentions are. So if there's good intention surrounding it, there's going to be good fruition coming from it. So I just believe in spirit so much and source so much that if you have good intentions towards something, and it just can't, even though you may feel like it turned out bad, or you may think it turned out bad, there's something behind it that you didn't know of, or didn't know that created really good things from it. And so that whole experience that I had at that fraternity actually kind of turned into something good. Even though it scared the crap out of me, it made me realize that I had this gift. Like if I were to walk in there and they specifically wanted me gone, then that must mean that there was some lower frequencies there that wanted me gone, or some guys, maybe some of the fraternity boys that wanted me gone. And so But at that moment, I felt like, okay, my gift is real. I felt it. There was something that changed in me, or I felt it. Even though I'd had this gift all through my childhood, and I kind of tried to stop it during high school and college, there was something that changed in me that night that made me realize I can't hide this. This is something that's going to follow me no matter where I go. So, and if maybe some of the guys tapped into that when I walked in, or some lower frequencies, I don't know. But I know that it was a pivotal moment for me. Now, for a while, it made me scared of anything that was like lower frequency or circles or Ouija boards or things like that. And honestly, I had played with Ouija boards with my father growing up a couple times. We had a Ouija board, and I had no idea it was connected to spirits. I had no idea that it was, I just thought it was a game. I mean, there's a game company like Parker Brothers that makes it. I thought it was a game. I thought it was cool. And I remember playing with my dad, and my dad was an alcoholic, so he was probably drinking. And it told me I was going to marry some guy named Mark Gooding or something like that. And so I thought that was kind of funny, and I was always looking for a Mark for the rest of my life. But honestly, it was a game to me until I got a little older and The Exorcist came out, and then that freaked me out, that movie. So, and it's crazy that I saw those things at that young of age, but my parents were very open about things like that, very open and very... So luckily, but at the same time, my mom was very sometimes weirded out by some of the things that I would say is going to happen, or if I prophetically, and this is totally going off a tangent, but it's so funny because when I'm just trying to make this comparison, when I was younger and didn't realize the Ouija board was connected to spirits, it was a fun game. It was like I didn't even think twice about it. And then as I got older and realized some belief patterns that it was, then that's when it changed for me. So it's really, really, really honestly about your intentions. Now, will I ever use a spirit board or a Ouija board? Probably not. Not in the future, because I don't need to. I like the cards. I like the oracle cards. Some people like pendulums. We've talked about the different modalities that other people use. Some people like Reiki. But I just don't want you to give anything in the spirit world or the spirit realm a bad rap or a belief system until you experience it yourself. Now, does that mean I want you to go out and play with a spirit board? No. I want you to use your own intuition, your own stuff. There are mediums out there that play with them or use them constantly, and they love them and they think it's great. They also have no fear. They don't believe in, evil spirits and things like that. I do. And so I don't want to, as much as protection as I have around me, I still just don't want to instigate that. I keep that and communication with spirits when it's my own personal stuff or in readings, and I don't need to use a spirit board for that. Now, when I do have developmental circles, I won't be using those. We'll be using our own gifts, because honestly, I just want to tell you this. You have everything you need inside you. You don't need the tools. And I know you can use them, and you can use them to help you, and you can use them when you're first developing. But at the end of the day, you're going to realize you have everything you need inside of you, and you are powerful and beautiful, and you can create whatever you want and have good intentions and create something beautiful. And you don't need these other modalities. Can you use them to help you develop them? Yes, you can. And spirit circles are one of those things, and they will start being available for you. And especially since you've listened to this, you'll probably start seeing them. They'll probably start popping up. Different mediums will have them, and you can try them out. So now that is what I know about spirit circles, and I kind of loved them. I kind of thought it was exciting. I thought just in the circle alone, just in the shape of a circle, when people, are in circles, there's a lot of power in that, just as long as there's good intentions. And there's a lot of power in it if there's bad intentions. You just have to remember, you have to realize, you have to just set your own intentions and make them good. So there are lots of things coming lots of things coming for us, for me, for you that are coming. I will start having a mediumship class probably once a month or every other month. And I'll probably start to, right now I've just been doing them in private. I'll probably start having them online. I've had enough people ask me if I can do that. So I might make them, I will probably try and create them in an online form. And I'll make it so either I teach it online one day or that it comes to you through email and videos. So I haven't decided how I'm going to do that. So watch for that. Also, developmental circles are going to start being available, so watch for that too. Right now I'm going to just try them in a private setting, but I will start making them online eventually. And I'm also going to start having an account on Patreon. Now, in the past, I had a membership, and it had Coffee with Carrie, it had readings, it had moon ceremonies, it had all this stuff. It was so hard for me to run the membership on my own. Patreon is an app or an app that puts all of that in, so I don't have to do all the work. All I have to do is just show up. So if I want to have online group reading, or if I want to have a Coffee with Carrie, I don't have to advertise it. I don't have to send out emails. Patreon is just the modality where you go to and you show up and you're there. And there's different tiers. There's one tier where it's just a meditation a month. You get a free meditation every month and you get book recommendations. And then there's another tier that adds on where you get question and answers, Zoom. And then there's another tier that will have maybe a quarterly reading. So this is going to be like the membership, but it's going to have different tiers and different accesses, and you can choose which one you want. That's not quite ready yet, but it will be soon, hopefully in March. Also, too, I'm going to start creating more digital products for you. I just feel so bad that I'm so booked out I booked out for 5 months. So I'm trying to create these other things that people will have access to me with just readings. And I'm trying to do it in a way that doesn't overwhelm me. Like when I made the membership last year, I had to create everything. I had to not only show up for all the things, but I had to create the emails. I had to create each thing, all the artwork, all of the workbooks, all the meditations, all those things. I had to do all of it. And so Patreon kind of takes that away from me. And these digital products make it so if you have questions about meditation, you can just go to my online store, find the meditation workbook and download it for $5. And then you don't have to try and find all these different things about meditation or have all these questions about meditation. And also too, manifesting, things like that, different workbooks that are going to help, and different meditations. I'm going to have different meditations available. There's ones about meeting your guides. There's actually a free one on my website about meeting your guides. And these meditations are going to be like $1. So this will kind of help you guys to develop your other ways to develop your gifts, and other ways to connect, and other ways to develop your gifts and have good intentions and to create this. So this stuff is for people who want to have, access to developing their own gifts. And this is what every medium should have, is they want you to develop your gifts so you can connect to spirit on your own, because you have everything you need inside yourself and only need validation through the different modalities. So anyways, I hope that helps you guys. Good things are coming down the pipeline, but as all good things come, it takes time. And so I still do 3 to 4 readings a day. So on top of the readings, I'm trying to create this stuff too. So give me some time. I don't want to overwhelm myself like I did last year, because it kind of wiped me out. So anyways, I love you guys. Next week is question and answers. So if you have questions, spiritual questions, not psychic questions, just anything spirit, or if you have ideas for upcoming podcasts, please email them to Carrie, C-A-R-I, at carriemuggs.com, CARIMUGZ.com, or you can DM me on Instagram where I'm at Carrie Muggs, or you can go to the Spunky Tribe Facebook page, or you can go to the Spunky Spirit Facebook page. Now, at the end of this, in the show notes, I will have a link that will take you to, give you access to the Spunky Tribe, where you can ask all sorts of things. I try and stay updated on that. Lots of people, will make comments about certain numbers they've seen or ask questions, and I go in at least once a day to comment on things that have been commented on or posted. And also I try and keep up, like this month has been meditation. I've tried to put out meditation stuff every week about meditation. And I'm getting better at that because I'm actually starting to get organized and have office hours that help me do that. So you can find that link in the show notes. And I love you guys so much. I love you, and I hope this helps. I hope you find out that spirit circles are made for you or not for you. It's up to you. But I just honestly, anything that helps you develop your gift and helps you have more confidence in your connection is what I want to bring to you. So I will talk to you guys next week, and we'll be answering questions from my clients or my audience, and I will talk to you next time.